Hey, welcome to the Mental Funny Bone Becoming the Gaster Girls. This is Sarah.
This is Christine. Just your weekly reminder that neither Sarah nor myself are trained mental health professionals. We don't know what we're talking about. And as we go through today's episode, it will become abundantly clear that we don't know what we're talking about when it comes to advising and guiding you on mental health. We do, however, have links to professionals in our show notes. So by all means, please avail yourself of the list and go ahead and get yourself some real help. In the meantime, Sarah and I will talk to you about mental health and how important it is to us, and we will make you laugh along the way. So buckle in. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes. 40 minutes of which will be us yammering away at each other about various topics, and 5 minutes of it will be valuable.
Fantastic. That was like a real intro.
I know. I felt good. It felt good. I'm going to have to copy it for every other episode now. I won't be able
Yeah.
to.
We're
Oh,
going to have,
hey, to get us
well,
started, did you
mhm.
look and see if we had any fan mail? Because I didn't.
You should. You definitely should.
Oh, no. Oh,
I
I'm so
can't believe
excited.
you didn't. I should have told you before right now. I'm sorry. There's definitely a few fan mails. Your one friend, I won't say her name because I want you to be surprised, sent 3 emails. She's so excited and I love her and she's my new favorite besides Kim D and Shauna and Ryan.
Yay. Oh, my
So yeah,
goodness. Oh, we got fan mail. All right, so we'll start with Elaine C, who is the most awesome and grew up very similar to me and Sarah. Holiday recipes. I have to go back and take a look at that and figure out what holiday recipe these are to go along with green beans.
yeah, she actually has. There's a bit about her
Oh,
mother-in-law, and there's the pumpkin pie. Is it a dessert or is it a side? I feel like I never thought of that, and I feel like it's a valid question.
I never thought about it. I might eat it if it was a side and not pumpkin pie, but it still has the spices, and I think that's what I find most disgusting about pumpkin pie is the pumpkin pie
Mm,
spice.
I love pumpkin pie. I love everything about it. But yeah, so her mother-in-law told the kids that a slice of pumpkin pie counts as a serving of vegetables.
It
I
makes
bet that
sense.
doesn't
It's
help the
made of
kids.
pumpkins.
It makes sense, but I don't. Yeah, maybe
Gross.
it's the crust that turns it into a dessert. I personally believe that it is the sweetness that turns it into the dessert, and it being a pie. I guess a meat pie. Blech.
Now, Elaine's Irish, so I mean, they have all kinds of
Oh,
entrees in pie. They have a shepherd's
yeah. Okay,
pie.
there's
I
a
feel
shepherd's
like
pie. Okay, yeah, so that definitely doesn't make it a dessert. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm really
I
not
feel like
sure.
having watched enough Great British Baking Show, they'll put all
Oh,
kinds of disgusting shit in pastry
no,
crust.
but we're not talking about. I just clicked the link that she sent. Wow, we probably should have done this before we started the actual podcast because she's not talking about the pumpkin pie. She's talking about the mashed sweet potatoes with marshmallows,
Oh yeah, that's definitely a side dish. And
the
again,
sweet potato casserole.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I that is a side dish, but I do prefer it to be sweeter, obviously, with the marshmallows. So I'm saying it's a side. The pumpkin pie is the dessert, both of which we're getting some vegetables from. I do believe that the amount of vegetables that are entering our bodies through these two dishes are canceled out by the amount of fucking sugar that is in both of
By the
these
amount of
dishes.
marshmallow required.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, there's zero nutritional
See,
value, but I get it. I get it. So, I'm going to go to Elaine's next
this is
email.
this is where Elaine and I might diverge as human beings because she seems to take umbrage with the broccoli cheddar casserole as well. Now, I'm a
I
fan.
don't know what the word
I'm a
umbrage
fan.
means, so I'm guessing it's she doesn't like it.
She doesn't like it. She's
Oh
offended by it
no.
mildly.
I don't like shank. Isn't that
Right.
Irish? Isn't
So
that what we had in that Irish place?
I don't think shank is Irish because I think it's just a part of the animal. But I think we had the unfortunate experience of ordering the shank in an Irish
At an Irish
restaurant. Which
restaurant.
also, why were we at an Irish restaurant? We
I
didn't
don't
have
know. It was the
any. Did we think we were going to just drink Guinness and then I don't know what? We're just fish
I
and
think
chip.
we mistook the restaurant for a bar. I feel like that's it was in Arizona, so it was definitely that time of our lives where we were either drunk or hungover. So I'm fairly
Right.
certain that we were like, hey, it's Irish. Obviously, there's lots of fun going on in there, chugging the pints. And then we got in there and it was a restaurant. We were like, we may as well try the cuisine. And one of us ordered the asshole of the lamb or sheep, or is
Oh,
a lamb and a
so
sheep the
bad.
same thing? I don't know.
Lambs are baby sheep,
It's so
but
sad.
also delicious.
I can't.
It's fine.
My love
Delicious.
for the animals, it does end when it comes to feeding me. So
I love a
anyway,
cow as much as the next person, but steaks are good.
yeah. As long as I don't meet them. As long as I don't meet them. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
And then there's one that I'm not going to argue with her about. It is the green lime salad. So it's a lime mold. Do you know what this is? It's like a sour cream, lime jello. There's often nuts and pineapples included in this.
I feel like anything jello except for strawberry pretzel salad, which is also not a salad,
Right.
it's a dessert. But besides that, okay, no, I lie. Jello shots,
No, that's not what we're talking about here. We're
mold,
talking
anything that has the word mold in
mold.
it.
That is the offensive part, correct? I
No.
think we're in alignment on this one. But it does have pineapple in it, which I do like. It is what I'm discovering from this conversation is really hard to find a food I won't
Here
eat.
here's the thing. Let me read exactly. Let me read this to you. Lime jello sour cream mold. Right there, there's
Ugh.
so many offensive things. Lime, sour cream, and mold. These three
Ugh.
things should never, ever be in the same title of a recipe, ever. So to
Oh
make
dear
this, you need a
Lord.
crushed can of pineapple, not a crushed can, a can of crushed pineapple, lime jello, dairy sour cream, chopped nuts. Nuts
Right.
does make most things better, but and chopped maraschino cherries. I get, and there's nothing about that that makes me happy, really.
It's a can of crayon. And Elaine says in her defense she doesn't eat it, but it's not Thanksgiving unless it's on the table. I'll
Okay,
give it a
yeah,
try.
I
I
get
like
it.
all of those things individually, except for maybe lime jello, not my favorite. But I'll
I
try
think
it.
maybe here's the thing. I think I might have to make this for Thanksgiving and just so I
Research
could take a picture of
purposes.
it. Right. Because I'm not under like how I yeah. Okay.
My favorite quote from this particular email is nothing natural is that color.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait to
100%.
make it. I can't wait to make it.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We can't make it because Noah's gonna be in charge of the kitchen.
No, I think this is a make ahead. We can make it ahead of time. You don't have to wait until the day. In fact, if you wait until the day, you're going to end up with soup.
Truth, very. You are the smartest.
Green soup.
It'll be like the time we went to one of my friends. She was having a party, housewarming party, and we got there. And first of all, she wasn't there. The garage door was open, and there was water boiling on the stove.
What? Wait, start again. She's not there.
She wasn't there. It's my friend Jackie. She wasn't there. The garage door was open. We were the first ones there, obviously. Went in. She's not there. And there's water boiling on the stove. So I sent her a text and I was like, what the fuck? And
Hey.
she said, oh, she had to run out to get something that she forgot. And I was like, there's water boiling on your stove. She was like, oh, yeah, that's for the jello shots. Can you put the jello in there? And I looked at Noah and was like, she knows like the party starts like now.
We're
Like the
here
jello
for the
shots are not
party.
something you make.
Day of.
One of my favorite experiences. I think Noah was just like, what is
What
happening?
is happening?
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Elaine, thank you so much. Next week, we will have pictures of the jello mold in the show notes. Looking forward to that.
Yep.
Being able to provide everybody with the picture of the jello mold for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Fantastic.
All right, who else? Oh, my friend Jamie.
Mhm.
Jamie R, as I know her. Jamie M,
Yeah.
as she exists today.
Yes.
So she sent a little note to say that she just discovered the podcast and that she is in her car and her heart is smiling. And that always makes me smile too. And she did ask us to meet up to eat chicken wings. So I'm in.
And I think we should definitely get that on the calendar ASAP.
She texted me today and I was wondering what it was about. And apparently it's just because she's fangirling, as many do.
Did you not open her text?
Well, here's the thing. I don't get notices. I don't get notifications anymore when I get a text. And I'm pretty dependent on getting the notifications to look at the text messages because I have a lot of other tabs open in my brain. And she texted me earlier and I looked at it and she said, "Is this you, Gaster?" And I texted her back and said, "Yes, it is me, Gaster."
Oh,
So,
okay.
and
Got
she
you. So
hasn't
she
texted me
just,
since,
okay.
or she might have. I just don't know because I haven't looked. Like no one has told
Got
me
it. Oh,
they sent me a text, so I haven't looked at my text messages. And then I'll open up my phone and there's 13 text messages from mostly you and our parents.
got it. Got
And by
it.
the time I get to those, the joke is already over, and there's no point to me jumping on to any of the fun text messages. So I think that's our fan mail. No fan mail from Noah this week,
I believe he said he's not going to give us fan mail anymore.
unless it's real fan mail.
Yeah.
Unless he's really excited
Yeah.
about something we've done.
Right. Okay. What are you being
Okay.
distracted by?
I wanted to look at my text messages to see if there were any text messages. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I think what I'm going to have to do is just reset my phone because obviously I've done something that turned them off.
Yeah.
I've gone back through all of the things that Chat GPT told me would fix it, and it hasn't. So I'm just going to have to turn
Mm,
it off, reset it, and then start all over, which I think is fine.
yeah.
And
I
then
think it'll be okay.
I'm just wondering if it won't just come back the same way, like some sort of mutant phone
I
zombie that won't tell me when I have a fucking text message.
I think you should just go get a new phone. That's what I would do.
I just got a new phone. I can't get a new phone. Do we not just talk about how I haven't looked at my finances in months and am very disappointed in myself again?
Oh, I love it. I
Fuck's
love
sake.
it. All
All
right.
right, next, what comes after fan mail? I know we
Do
do
a
the
little bit
same
of catch
goddamn
up.
show every week.
Do a little bit of
Oh,
catch
I
up
was in New
like the
York.
week.
Did you see my pictures in New York?
I did. They were very pretty. You sent me some via text too. I love that. And you probably didn't
If
get
you
that
replied, I didn't
notification that
hear
I love
you.
them.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a whole thing. So unsurprisingly, I've been everyone who has seen us do episodes from the road, right? So I'm just always in a random hotel room. That was the tail end of a string of 4 or 5 weeks of near constant travel. So I didn't want to go to New York. I didn't want to go to that conference, and I was really happy that I did because I ran into some people that I hadn't talked to in ages, some just good people, friends that I hadn't talked to in maybe like a year that were excited to see me, and that always boosts my self-confidence and convinces me that I'm a worthwhile person. Eh, friends from the next conference. It was nice to see you all. So thanks for listening.
Yay.
It was fun.
I hit a deer.
Did you hit it, Shank?
I hit it square in the center of the body. He stopped perfect.
He
Came out of
didn't come through the
nowhere.
windshield, did he? Like Tommy Boy
He
style?
he did it. He flipped over. From what I could tell, he flipped over. Yeah, I'll give you the story. So I'm driving, and the deer comes out of nowhere. I believe that there was like a split half a second that I went to turn up the radio because the Virgin came on.
No, it makes sense now. Warranted.
Or no, what was the other?
Totally
No, it's not like
forgivable.
a Virgin. It's the other one.
Lucky Star, Borderline.
Wow, the one in
Come
the
on.
church.
Vogue,
Fuck.
Like a Virgin.
No.
The one in the church. Life is a mystery to me.
Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand
I'm not doing
alone.
it.
I hear you call my name, and it feels like a prayer.
Oh, yeah, like a prayer. Sorry. Not like a virgin, like a prayer.
Wow. Wow. Anyway,
Oh, I can't
so
wait to leave that in.
me too. Anyway, I hate myself right now. So, yeah, I went to turn up the radio, and the deer took that opportunity to jump out in front of me. And then he seemed to be slightly surprised that I was there and
They
stopped.
have tiny brains. They have tiny brains. For those of our like cross country fans, ones that don't live right by us, in the fall here, the deer go a little bit cuckoo because it's time for them to make some baby deers, and
Mhm.
the boys just go nuts, and the girls are running away, but I don't think they're really running away. Anyway, so it makes
It
them dumb as hell.
and it makes me sad, like on so many different levels. So I hit the deer. It's bad. Like I've never hit a deer before. I cry when I hit like a little baby, like a little squirrel. Like I cry and lose my shit anytime I hit an animal. So I hit the deer and it goes like flipping and I don't know what the fuck to do. So what do? I call 911. because I was pretty sure
You
he
didn't tell
landed in the
me.
middle of the road on the other side of the road. And I was like, fuck. And it's a fairly busy road. So I was like, somebody's going to have to get that fucker off the road. So I called
Did
911 and I'm trying to turn around because I want to go stop and make sure nobody else hits the deer, nobody else has damage to their car. I'm trying. I don't know what to do, but I know that I'm very sad and I'm very upset that I just killed a deer. And so the lady gets on the phone and she was absolutely shout out. What are the odds? Fairly certain she's not listening to this, but God, I love. She was my favorite person. She was like, "Okay, it's okay, honey, it's okay." And I said, "No, it's not. It's not okay. I just."
Oh my God.
So I turn around and she's talking to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Do I sound okay?"
You were
Is your
mouthing
car
off to her.
okay?" I was
She's
like, "I don't care about my car. I killed the deer." So I turn around and I get to where the deer should be. And I was like, oh my God, the deer's not here. The deer got up and fucking left. The deer's gone. The deer. And then I lost my shit completely. I pulled over, parked. And she was like, okay, well, that's good. And I was like, I'm sorry. Oh my God, the deer's gone. The deer's gone. The deer is now in the woods, fucking bleeding out. It's going to take days for that deer to die.
what? Why do you attach characteristics to the deer that don't need to be attached to the deer?
Because
Something will find it and kill it.
see, that's
Like
still
something
upsetting to me. That's still very upsetting to me. Does not help.
nature
It's
finds a way.
very upsetting to me. So yeah, so my brain latched on and it spiraled and spiraled. And but the lady was like, do you need me to send an officer out? I could send an officer out to you. And I was like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'll be fine.
Oh
And
God.
yeah, and my kid's wonderful. Like I was going to meet Noah somewhere, and so my kid is wonderful because he called about something else. I'd already talked to Noah, and he called about something else, and in the car crying. And I said, "I'm sorry, buddy. I just hit a deer. I'm upset." And he was like, "Oh no. Oh, do you want me to call dad to make sure he knows so he could look at it? He could look at your car when you get there so you don't have to look at it? I know you don't want to look at it."
Oh.
Which is funny because I just got off the phone with Noah and I was like, I can't, there's going to be blood and fur and I can't look at it.
There
Turns
wasn't
out there
any
was no
blood,
blood
was
and
there?
fur. There was no blood,
Oh.
no fur. There was no evidence. But I can't, I don't want to talk about it anymore because
I
I
hit
do
a herd
seriously
of
still
deer.
get sad. I still get sad. $7,000 worth of damage.
That should make you less sad, I think. And angrier.
Well,
It's their dumb
I don't know.
fault. He was probably hiding by the road, him and 6 of his buddies, and he's, hey, watch. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out, dear.
I think so. This is the story that I'm going with. Then him and his buddies, and then he got tossed. So he broke some bones. He definitely had to break some fucking bones. He had to. So he broke some bones. His buddies came out, picked him up, took him off into the woods. They took him to
With
the
their
deer rescue
hooves?
hospital.
With
Yeah,
their hooves.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. A couple of them had those things on the top of their head,
Antlers.
antlers. So someone that they put him on those, and they just flopped him
Oh
up and
my
they took him
God.
out into the woods to the deer hospital, and he's fine.
There's a deer surgeon. He's wearing
Mhm.
scrubs. He's got a mask on. He said,
Everybody's
ooh.
happy.
Yeah.
Nobody died. It's fine. It's fine.
No, you're
Today's
good.
really the first day I've told the whole story without crying again. That's cool. I just feel like you're heartless.
This might be true. Here's the thing. I am in a spot right now where it's dark. I don't know if this is the right part of the show to talk about it, but it's dark. I'm real tired from traveling. There's no hope ever of me getting a break at work ever that will result in me being able to complete my job in 8 hours per day. I will always be tired. There will consistently be things around here that I want to do and need to do and can't do. It is, did I mention it was dark? Like, it's dark. There's no sunshine. Everything is cold. Even today it was 65 degrees. I was in my car shivering because it was
Hmm.
cold. I was cold. And
Yeah.
there's very little hope in my life right now. And I am having a hard time being worried about this deer off in the woods. It is seasonal depression time, and I
Hmm.
am embracing it for everything it's worth. I don't have therapy this Friday, or I do. I can't remember if it's a therapy Friday or not, but I think next time I go, I'm going to be like, maybe we should talk every week until the sun comes back.
I think it's a good idea.
because fuck this bullshit. Getting up out
Yeah.
of bed. If you weren't calling me every day at 6 o'clock, I'm pretty sure today I had a meeting at 8 o'clock, which is the only reason I tumbled out of bed at 7:15, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah. I failed this morning. I
If you're not
apologize.
calling me at 6 o'clock in the morning and making me feel bad or making it feel like I'm coming in second in the competition of siblings, then I'm not getting up out of bed. So I wonder in my head if my lack of empathy for the deer is just because I feel dead inside.
That might be it.
So,
And I also have an empathy problem, like the other way, I think, with some
like the
things.
other
So,
way,
yeah, like I have
like
too
you
much
feel
of
like
it.
the deer are too empathetic towards you.
No. Why would the deer be
Oh, you
empathetic
have too
towards
much.
me?
I don't know. That lady's so sad because she killed Tom. Tom was a dick. Maybe something like that. They're helping you.
Yeah.
But there you go. And I will just say this. I will just encourage all of the funny boners to don't necessarily suffer like this. Everybody is feeling the same way, maybe. And if you had been meaning to reach out to a therapist, but you just hadn't really had the time or the inclination to do that, maybe now, maybe the seasonal depression time is time to do that. I'm finding it hard to even get excited about Thanksgiving this year, and I'm finding it hard to, find the energy to bring the Christmas trees up. And that's usually like my jam. Like at this point, I've probably listened to 887 Christmas carols already, and I can't get into it. Olivia's coming home on Friday. I'm super excited to see her, but also ambivalent at the same time. So,
Yeah.
what's
You
wrong
need to
with
go to your
me?
therapist. You have seasonal
Yeah, I
depression.
do. I know, and I don't like it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not,
It's
like,
not
it's
super
usually not
fun.
bad. Like, mine usually isn't bad. Like, usually I have sympathetic seasonal depression because I just have to watch Olivia walk around like she has no soul, like she's dead inside. But this year I get to share in it. So, hooray.
Have you been?
Yeah, I have not been very good about meditating. I've been pretty good about doing the yoga, but I've not been very good about the meditating. So I've been listening to podcasts on meditation, if that counts, and being like, oh, it would be nice to find time to meditate today. I can't
I
find
think that
time
you
to
should.
meditate. What I can find time to do is lay down on the floor in the kitchen.
Yeah, I think maybe
So
you should
that's
take
where
that
we
time
are.
to do some meditation.
You're
I
probably
am
right.
finding it very
You're
helpful
probably very smart.
in my own brain.
That's amazing. And I keep reading scientific articles about what a positive impact meditation will have and going, interesting. No, no doubt. No doubt. We should probably do that. I think that's my catch up corner is that I'm going through a little bit of seasonal depression and not at my most sympathetic. I'm sorry about your deer. And the deer, this happens to them every year. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of them, and that's why we have deer hunting to make sure that they don't run out in front of your car as much.
I
Leah and
know
David are
all
going to go and try to
this. I know
help you
all
take
this.
care of
It's like the flight anxiety. Like I know all this. Like this is all
it. Yeah, yeah.
my sadness is 100% irrational, but it's there.
I get it. So is mine. So is mine. So
So,
there's no reason for me to be more sad because it's dark at 5 o'clock. If we didn't have daylight savings time, it would still be dark at 5 o'clock. So
yeah, this time of year does suck. I do think I'm holding out hope that once you get the Christmas trees out and Olivia and we have Thanksgiving, that things will get better. I can say that I'm normally done with Christmas shopping by Thanksgiving, and I have purchased zero. Not even made, like, I
welcome.
normally have a list done in October of what everybody's getting. I don't even have a list done.
I bought one gift. One gift for your husband is the single
Yeah.
gift that I bought.
Yeah.
But this isn't unusual for me. Like I usually get to the point in December where Amazon's, hey, if you want that for Christmas, you can't buy it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I start to like panic.
And then you panic
And then
buy.
I go out. And then I go out and just buy people presents I wanted to buy for myself.
Yeah. Which is always that's like my favorite.
And then give them away. Don't you love it? It's yellow.
Didn't
Idiots.
was it last year that we traded? We bought presents for each other and then traded them.
Yeah.
I bought you a purse that you
Actually,
didn't like, and you bought me a Massage Envy gift card. And getting massages makes me sick.
right. I was like, what a hideous purse. I would never pick that out
Wow,
for myself.
this is so ugly. And I was like, I like it. I actually ended up selling it on Poshmark, but
Oh my gosh. All right. Other catch ups? Other catch ups this week?
I went to Elizabeth and hung out with Aaron and got drunk.
Where were you part of the band? She sent me a video where you were singing.
Yeah, I was singing Bare Naked Ladies. That was at a little brewery right down in downtown Elizabeth, the Whistle Stop Brewery, maybe. She was
Oh,
singing Bare Naked Ladies, and I had a Bare Naked Ladies sweatshirt on, and I
wait,
felt it
she
super appropriate. And then I actually thought about it today, and I was like, why didn't she punch me? Like, I was literally just standing up there with her, and like at
right.
times
Like
trying to get into the microphone.
I Aaron sent it to me and I watched it and I was like,
Horrified.
what? I thought you
Hmm.
were first. I thought you were holding a hoagie in your hand. I thought maybe you had stopped at Central Pizza and gotten an Italian hoagie,
Yeah, no.
and you
Yeah.
were holding that in your hand while you were trying to take over the mic. And I asked Erin, I was like, did she not look at the girl? Did she not look at the girl's face?
Yeah,
Wow.
no.
Because the girl's face
No.
is, I'm going to have to punch her.
I don't what I remember the conversation definitely wasn't she was punching me. But again, that was the last thing we did. We had actually left before that. And for some reason, I came back into the bar because I felt that I wasn't done with a conversation. And then in the middle of that conversation, she started playing Bare Naked Ladies. So I left that conversation and went up to sing
Oh
with her.
dear.
And then
No, it
we
makes
finally
sense.
left.
And
It was,
then
yeah. And I think that was approximately 8 p.m.,
there was
9 at the latest.
I was like, what? Where did you go? I thought maybe you had been at a picnic all day, but
No,
no?
we went to Mingo Creek Tavern, the place that you and I went to before the
Oh,
soccer
yeah.
game. We
Right,
went there for
yes.
lunch. Went there for lunch and we started at 1 o'clock. We left there about 5:30. Not a clue. We made some friends there along the way, like multiple groups of friends at that bar.
I am not shocked. It seemed like a friendly place.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah. And then by the time we left there, I was already good to go. Then we went to this brewery and we were there until 9 o'clock. So, and I'm pretty sure that I feel like once I hit beer six, someone should take my phone away because I was texting. I was using Aaron's phone to send Facebook messages because I refused to put Facebook on my phone again. I
I
was making
mean,
videos and sending them to and all like high school people that I haven't talked to in a few years.
they're glad to have them. I mean, I was glad to have it.
It's pure gold,
I was
pure
like,
fucking entertainment.
what is she
Yeah.
holding?
Yeah.
I'm like, is she
So,
part of the band now? Is she a duo with that girl? Because I think at the end she was like, oh, you're wearing a sweatshirt. It was like she was
yeah.
talking to a toddler. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the video. I don't like watching the video. I
super
don't like
cute.
seeing the pictures. I don't really care. I don't care there's no, I
That's,
need zero
you're not
evidence.
even
I
that
am 100% aware that I am a fucking asshole.
You're not even the same person you were then, right now. I know. That's Drunk Sarah. If you have questions for Drunk Sarah, you're going to have to take them up with Drunk Sarah, not me,
Yeah.
Sober Sarah.
Yeah, she's two
You're
different
going to have to
people. She
ask
really
her.
is.
All
So yeah,
right.
that's what I did. That's it.
Gr- Growing up Gaster Story of the Week. Since we're heading into the Thanksgiving period, I thought maybe we would discuss the early Gaster girls. I was probably like just old enough to have grown up teeth. I'd lost my teeth and my new teeth had come in. So maybe like second or third grade. How old are you in second or third? Like 8 or 9, which makes you like
Sure.
3 or 4. And we were screwing around downstairs in the basement.
Were
There
we at
were,
in
no, we weren't, we were, yeah, we were in Elizabeth, but not downtown Elizabeth. We were in Similar Drive. We
Yeah,
weren't part
yeah.
of a gang yet. We weren't part of a gang
Okay.
yet. There was probably a kerosene heater, just an open flame
Yeah.
for us to
100%.
play with in the basement, and a lot of red shag carpeting and fake brick and
Ah,
fake
the fake
fire.
brick. Yeah.
Real fire for us to play with, also fake fire for us to play with.
Mhm.
And it had that crunkled up plastic, so it's supposed to sound like a fire. Do
It
you
made
remember
that
this?
noise. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
The innovation back then was brilliant.
It's amazing. And I hadn't gotten my braces on yet, so I had to be only like 8 or 9. So I had big teeth, but not long enough for them to be like, oh dear Lord, we can't leave them like that. No one will ever marry her. So my one tooth was sticking straight out, if you'll remember. And you were trying to get me to go upstairs, and I didn't want to go upstairs, but you were pulling me, and you had a burst of strength, and pulled me
Mhm.
into the corner of the wall. And the only part that stuck out far enough to hit the wall was my fucking front tooth. And it broke. It broke. Now it's Thanksgiving Day. It's Thanksgiving Day. We're supposed to stay downstairs and stay out of the way. Your mother is dealing with our grandmother upstairs because obviously our mother isn't doing anything right. And now I come upstairs and I'm spitting chiclets, as they say in hockey, like part of my tooth. And what's happened is it didn't knock it out, but it broke it enough where the nerve ending is exposed. Every time I breathe, I can feel my heartbeat. It's so painful. So
It
painful.
makes me want to
And
cry for you.
because what do? I have a turkey in the oven. I can't take you anywhere. And our dad is, of course, at work or someplace not there. He's
I
just
figured he
absent.
was already drunk by that point.
No, what? He might have been. I'm
Him and
not
Uncle
sure
Frank.
which absent. Oh, that it might have been. It might have been. The
Either that
only
or he
thing
was
I
at work
like, I
because he
can't.
would work to get the
He
extra money
probably
on the
doubled out.
holidays.
We probably didn't even eat dinner with him. He just brought his mother down and let our mother take care of her.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He was happy as a clam.
So then he was at work. They probably brought them turkeys or the union got them whatever.
For sure.
I couldn't eat. And there's no like emergency dentist at that time. So your mother was like, yeah, sorry. We'll go tomorrow. Miserable.
Yeah.
I think that was like the height of my hatred for you is right then. Not only are you a thorn in my ass all the time, now you've injured me in a way that I can prove. Look what she did to my face. Our mother doesn't care because she's already got enough shit to care about on this day.
Yeah.
And I can't eat Thanksgiving. Like the turkey, I had waited. And I don't know if you remember, but when I was like around that age, I ate everything. I had the highest metabolism of anyone in our house, and I would eat twice as much as your dad.
Oh,
and not.
Yeah, I don't remember any of this.
Right.
So
I was a chow hound, and I really liked it. And now I had to sit there and watch you eat, and everyone tell you.
I was going to say
you
it
were.
probably didn't help. I'm sure I didn't eat that much because I may have eaten a
weren't gonna eat
shitload of
anything.
one thing because
Asparagus.
because I
Canned
didn't eat shit
asparagus.
when I was little. Mommy would make me special dinners because I was that much of a bitch.
Right. I want meatloaf, but I only want meatloaf prepared at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want chili,
Yeah, I
but
can
only
see
from
it
Wendy's.
like I could see it being terrible because to make it worse, I'm probably running around like a fool being, I don't know, a 3-year-old and not giving a
Adorable.
fuck about your terrible tooth injury.
No, nobody cared.
I'm
Plus,
sorry.
I was me, so I was like, no one cares about me. No one understands what I'm going through. Why?
I'm just gonna sit in my room and read.
I am going to get the Chronicles of Narnia and read it again and hope that I could disappear into a closet because no one will ever miss me.
You poor thing.
Good times. But that doesn't really cover all of my Thanksgiving Day injuries.
No,
because fast
no.
forward about 40 years, what were we doing in your backyard? So we're having Thanksgiving at your place. We had probably just run like a turkey trot or something because I think we were in our athletic era.
I think it was the first year we didn't run the turkey trot. And because of that, we decided to go outside and play football.
Turkey bowl. We were going to do a turkey bowl. Me, you, your husband was out there in the middle of what was the backfield between condo places, I think.
Yeah.
In
the townhouses,
Pittsburgh.
that wind tunnel between the townhouses.
Right. Your dad was there listening to Johnny Cash, watching Noah heat up a vat of oil for the fried turkey. And me and you and the children, Owen and Olivia, were going to do a turkey bowl. And Anita was the referee, I think.
Something like that. I'm not sure.
Right. I think it was maybe three plays into it.
If that.
3 plays into it.
Sure.
It wasn't very long because I don't even remember getting cold. I went out for a pass or I was going to run something, like I was showing off because I'm a competitive dick. And I stepped wrong on my foot and did some damage to my knee and made a slightly squeaky noise and went, oh. And then I wanted to pretend like I was not hurt because the kids seemed to be having a good time. And then we had to call a halt to the turkey bowl because I had to come in and put peas on my knee.
I think it's important to let everyone know that the result of this injury was surgery.
It was a meniscus. It was definitely a real meniscus.
it wasn't like I just tweaked it a little bit. No, there was damage.
No, I really jacked
Yeah,
that one up. This is
yeah,
also my already surgically repaired knee. I think later,
yeah.
this was Thanksgiving, and I think we went on a cruise, me and you and the kids and Noah, that January or February.
In
And
yeah, in January. Hold on, I have to close the door because the family's home.
okay.
Hi. Sorry.
And we were in paradise, I think. Some sort of Bahamas,
It
Caribbean,
was the
some paradise
Disney
I can't find on a
Island.
map.
It was the Disney
Right.
Island.
Castaway Cay, but it's pronounced Key.
Key,
Castaway
which
Key.
is
Cay.
dumb.
Cay. And we were walking on these beautiful, pristine, white sand beaches. And I stepped wrong, and I made a noise equivalent to that of a seal that had been clubbed in the
Baby
head.
seal. Baby seal clubbed in the head.
Clubbed in the head. And it was like a squeaky sound. And you were like, don't ever make that noise in front of me again.
It was the most horrific noise I've ever heard in my life.
I think that was, 3 weeks before surgery was scheduled. So I should have known better than to be walking around on the sand. Like I knew that I had a significant boo. Yeah, the doctor when I went to get the MRI, he was like, "How did this happen?" Now this is in like December, maybe January, like right before we go on the Disney cruise, and he's like, "Now how did this happen?" I was like, "Turkey bowl." He's like, happens every year. Usually people don't wait until 3 months later, but come on in. Let's get it taken care of. Loved him. Great surgeon. Also, I recall your dad took me to that surgery. And this is when I figured out your dad was too old to take anyone to surgery because I drove myself home.
I was going to say that's when you had to drive home, right?
I had surgery. I had general anesthesia. What are we doing for lunch? Do you want to stop at the Copper Kettle? So at lunch, he had 2 beers. I was like, all right, I'll drive home from here. I'm good.
Oh, for the love.
That's when we figured out maybe we have a responsible adult take us for surgery.
Probably a good idea.
All right, so that's our growing up gastro story of the week about my Thanksgiving Day injuries and how I ruin everything.
Let's keep the injuries to a minimum this year.
I'm not going to make any promises.
Like 0.
We'll see what we can do. All right, let's talk about 10% happier.
Yes.
I've been holding that one in for a little bit. So It's the penultimate chapter, next to last chapter.
Okay. Why can't you just say next to last? Here's what I think you and attorneys just like to say shit so other people won't know them. So they think that you're smarter.
That's why I do it. I don't know about
just say the next to last chapter. Why do you have to say whatever you just said?
Penultimate. Because I know that word.
Penultimate. It's 2 words?
No, it's 1 word.
Penultimate. Why do you say penultimate? Penultimate. Right. Okay.
Right. And now you know it.
So speaking of this, Noah and I are in the car Saturday and Dirty Deeds comes on by AC/DC.
Oh, no.
And I was going to sing. And I was like, wait, what's he say? Dirty Deeds. And they're done real cheap. And I was like,
dirt cheap.
Or something like that, whatever, done dirt cheap. And I was like, oh, so he's not saying Dirty Deeds, the Thunder Chief.
Oh my God, I love you.
Dirty Deeds and the Thunder Chief.
There's a Van Halen song, and the name of the song, I'm not even going to tell the story because it's too embarrassing, and I can't remember if the name of the song was right or I was right about what the words were.
They're my favorite. We should probably just do a whole episode on fucking up words.
Desperado.
Really. El Dorado. Yeah.
Fun. Yep. Good stuff. All right, penultimate. Next to the last chapter. Mm-hmm. This is the case for not being a dick, right? Something like that.
Yep. This is, he talks about that. He interviews the Dalai Lama.
To be like super.
Go ahead.
He's ready to be like a super asshole about it.
Yeah,
and it turns out that the Dalai Lama's nice.
Yeah, and it makes sense. So I didn't know the Dalai Lama was really a thing. But then I felt like I needed to look up the Dalai Lama a little bit more because then he said something about the Dalai Lama that came before this Dalai Lama. Like, can you explain the Dalai Lama to me? Because I don't understand it. Do you know?
You just pick a new one. Like when this one gets old, who
picks them?
The monks read the
Is it a
signs,
Buddhist thing?
I
Is it like
think.
the Pope?
Similar to the Pope, except that the Dalai Lama is usually like two when you pick him. So he's like a little baby. It's not like he can present you with a
Yeah.
resume.
That's
He
what
just
that's yeah.
he just
That's
gets
what he
picked
said.
because there's like a rainbow over his house or
He has
something.
an aura about him.
Yeah, I think that's as much as I know. It is like a Pope, only without grown-ups.
Okay. All right. Yep, yep, yep.
It just hangs out, and people tell him he's the Dalai Lama, and he's like, I guess I should be chill then.
Yeah, he's like, "All right, I'll just be chill." And I that's the first thing that Dan Harris is likes about him is that right off the bat he asks him like, "So you don't get upset about anything?" And Dalai Lama was like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah, I'm still a human
Yep.
being.
Yep, I sure do.
I
And
mean,
that, go
I
ahead.
like that whole thing because he gets to the end of that, and he's this is everything that I don't like about Buddhism. This is everything that's religion oriented, and I don't dig it. But one of the last things he talks to the Dalai Lama about is it is in your own self interest to be a nice, kind person,
Yeah.
and this is a debate that I think I've been having with people since Phoebe Buffay brought it up during Friends, where she and Joey were having a contest, I think, to be nice
Mhm.
to somebody
Yep.
without getting anything back in return.
Yeah, and that's
And
exactly it.
I being nice to people is in your own self-interest. It makes you happier, it makes other people happier, and if you can frame it like that, then it doesn't, you don't have to be all hippy dippy sappy about it. And Dan Harris is now that I can get behind.
Yeah,
He's
that
maybe not
makes
in
sense.
practice.
Yeah, he has a little bit of trouble with like he knows. He's like it's the compassionate part is what he's like I'm not really sure I'm good at that. I'm not really sure I can do that. I'm not really sure I can go that way. But this is something else I learned because he said meta and I'm pretty sure we've talked about meta has been mentioned but I never really knew what it was and
It
that's
comes up
META.
it comes up when he's doing the retreat, right? Like
Yeah.
he's and then we did this gratitude or compassion meditation where I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
and
about
that's what it is. It's let me see, I wrote it down. Love kindness meditation is what it is. So like today the meditation I did started with a little bit of meta. So it was all about thinking about someone that could use some extra love and extra kindness in their life and thinking about that person and wishing that upon them. And
yes,
that's the one in the retreat where he was thinking about his mom and he got all sappy.
right, exactly. Exactly.
So,
And then he comes
yeah.
back to that. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around that shit. But the Dalai Lamas think of it in ways that focusing on yourself and you get good
Yeah.
shit out of doing good shit for other people. And it's really funny because I was listening to a podcast, coincidentally, the 10% Happier podcast, and
Crazy.
it was one that I was having trouble with because it's about the economics of sharing, to put it in simple terms. Like the economics of abundance and how do we create abundance within a community. And it's by who he's interviewing. This lady's a botanist, and she's talking about this one bush that just produces more berries than it really needs to get its seeds out there. But in producing more than it needs and sharing the abundance with everybody else, it feeds the entire community of little critters and birds and ultimately the things that eat the birds, like all of that nature
Yeah.
stuff. And I think if we would think about that, not just on an individual level where we're worried about hoarding our abundance and we're worried about keeping everything, and if we could find a way to open up and share in ways with our community, we would create an abundance where everybody would have what they needed. And I was like, what's up, commie? We already know this system of government doesn't work. And Dan Harris is the same way. He's, I don't know what you do instead of capitalism. So like the parallels between that and this chapter, and she's like, just think small. Like you don't have to change an entire system of government to be a better person. You don't have
Yeah.
to change an entire system of government to appreciate flowers and trees and the natural world around you that is continuing to feed you and make it possible for you to live someplace. Like, she's worry about your interaction with your space and worry about your interaction with your community. She's start small and build from there. The same concept. It's in your self-interest to have a relationship with the trees and the plants and the animals that live around you, like the deer.
Yeah, I love the deer. Damn it, gonna cry about it.
So yeah, I think this chapter is bringing the meditation and the sort of opening of oneself up to these experiences where it doesn't have to be religious, it doesn't have to be spiritual, it doesn't have to be hippy dippy. It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
You do good things for other people because it makes you feel good as a person. And if you do them enough, then I think that you'll find keeping score and all of the stuff that we do when we're fighting against this instinct is nicer. You feel better. And
Yeah.
there's scientific evidence and studies to prove it. That's my summary.
Yeah, I'm reading my paper here, and it says science backs the notion of selfish compassion.
Oh, I like
the Dalai
selfish
Lama.
compassion.
The Dalai Lama said one of the first things I wrote down was the practice of compassion is this is him speaking, which I love. The practice of compassion is ultimately benefit to you.
Ultimately benefit to me.
We are selfish, but be wise selfish rather than foolish selfish.
I mean, it just goes on with this is who we are as people. We're not meant, like, we have to struggle to make this stuff work, I think, is also like the sort of underpinning to that too. We're selfish people. We all are. That's just how we are as humans. And if we can find a way to be beneficial and selfish, then awesome.
And so I'm going to read a little bit about the science of it, if that's okay with you.
Do it.
So there was a study of compassion meditation where it found that meditators released a significantly lower dose of the stress hormone called cortisol. And so practicing the compassion appeared to be helping their bodies handle the stress, and therefore reducing all that bad shit that comes with stress, like heart disease, diabetes, dementia, cancer, depression. And then taking the meditation part of it out of it, there was even study done that just shows that acts of kindness have an overwhelming positive effect on your health in general. The compassionate people tend to be healthier, happier, more popular, and more successful at work.
Right. It's counterintuitive.
Yeah. And all of these things can eventually make you a nicer person. Like I feel like Dan Harris feels at the end of this, he's, wow, I can be a nice person. And it makes me feel pretty good.
Right.
And it makes other people happy. Like I'm seeing how all of this is going. And he started what he called what did he call it? Eye contact and smile policy.
Not smile and wave. That was
that
the penguins
too,
of
whatever.
Madagascar.
But what he says about that, so he said, it's not that I never get annoyed anymore. In fact, when you're mindful, you feel irritation more keenly. However, once you unburden yourself from the delusion that people are deliberately trying to screw you, it's easier to stop getting carried away. As the Buddhists like to point out, everyone wants the same thing, happiness, but we go about it with varying levels of skill. If you spend a half hour on the cushion every day contending with your own ego, it's hard not to be more tolerant of others.
I guess that's accurate. Yeah, I think it's important for me to hear this today, perhaps, because I am so focused on how shitty I feel right now today and how shitty it is to have a cold sore on your lip and how it's dark and how the chores pile up when you're not home. If I would just take a little bit of time and meditate and do some compassion, then maybe I wouldn't be so all up in my own grow.
I don't know. Maybe just think about, and I'm just making shit up. It's not dark outside just to make you sad.
It's not. It's dark because the sun is further away. That's why it's dark.
Right.
It's not intentionally there to ruin my life.
And
this cold showed up
right.
because I've been traveling a lot and everything is really dry. And even though I tried to keep my lips moist Some little bacteria got in there and it fucked shit up. It's
Worst.
fine.
It's the worst. But I do have a problem with the irritation because I get irritated very easily. Hence the text I sent you from the waiting room at the car dealership today. I'm fairly certain the gentleman who was listening to TikTok loudly on his phone wasn't doing that intentionally. But here's what I'm thinking, because I was actually typing this out as this was happening. So I got to this point: unburden yourself from the delusion that people are deliberately trying to screw you. And I'm thinking, I don't give a fuck if this guy's trying. I know he's not doing it just to piss me off. He's doing it because he's not fucking thinking, because he's not giving a fuck about who's around him. And fuck him for
Now,
that.
now, think about,
Right.
because you're being a little bit more mindful, perhaps you're feeling the irritation just a little bit more keenly, which I think is the sentence before the one you just read.
Exactly. So there's all the thing. I'm like, okay, there's no reason that this should bother me. It's just something that's happening. I should just
It's
continue on doing what I'm doing.
it's allowed to bother you. I think that's the trick. Ugh, that's bothering
Ugh.
me.
But I need to not do the spiral of of what I just did. This motherfucker.
You need to
What is
not give
going
it
through his head?
legs.
What is wrong with him? What the hell? What is wrong with this guy?
You need to not give it legs. That's all.
Yeah, I have a major issue with that. I need to accept it and move on. So that's
Right.
definitely going to
It's
be something I need to work on.
It also strikes me as how different you and I are, in that when I think about the meditation, I think about the things that I'm like inside of me that are bad and wrong. And you think about the things outside of you that irritate you. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's not. I'll defend myself in that one. That's not always what it is.
Okay,
That
good.
is sometimes, but there are times where I have to focus on what's fucked up inside me, because there's a lot of that too.
Good. I mean, not good.
No,
It's nice to know that I'm just not alone in that one. So thanks.
yeah, no. There's definitely, I definitely have to work on that shit too, and get over that and get out of my own head, because that's what I do. I fester in there. So no, it's not just outside people. It's not just, I'm not just blaming other people for everything. I definitely have
Cool.
my own fucking issues.
So back to compassion and doing little good deeds and that making us feel better. I miss when I was taking Olivia to soccer practice all the time. We would drive through the Chick-fil-A and I would pay for the car behind me because I like doing that. And it gave me like
Yeah.
this little like hit of serotonin or dopamine, like whatever makes people feel good. And now that they take your credit card at the car, you don't get to do that at Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
anymore. And I don't even go through drive-throughs as much anymore. So I'm going to have to find another random act of kindness to do
Yeah.
somewhere.
I did learn that I have to ask what the total is behind me.
They bought lunch for the whole office. It was $75. I was like, now I'm committed.
Literally. It was like $60 worth of food the one time. I was like, what?
Now I'm just pissed.
I
Fuck.
said, motherfucker.
All right.
I said,
Yeah.
lesson learned. I'll ask next time.
Like I try to look in the car and see if there's one or two people or seven.
Yeah, I have no clue what was it. I have no clue what happened. That was at Taco Bell.
Jesus. They
Right.
buy everything at the store.
Holy fuck, did you ask them how many times? They say, how many tacos you got in there? I'll take them all.
Right.
Fuck.
Just give me all the meat. What?
What the fuck? So did you get to the Paris Hilton part, his interview with Paris Hilton?
I got to the part where they were like, where Paris Hilton was like, "You're not using that," and he was like, "I don't fucking work for you."
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And that's pretty much all it is at the end of the day. But the thing that came back on that one, like, I found it funny because he's talking about, that's, journalists live for that, to get someone to walk away from an
Right.
interview. This is something that I feel like he would be proud of. And then after everything happened, he was called rude by people and judged for how he acted in that interview. And he was, oh, so before that wouldn't have bothered him. Like, he wouldn't even have listened to that. He wouldn't even have heard that. But
He was like,
now
right.
now that he has this, he's working on this compassion part of him. He's, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So it has that other effect to it, which I actually think is a good effect. But yeah, so that's the end of the chapter. And I was looking here just to see, because he makes a statement at the end. Hold on. No, I can't find it. But basically, he makes a statement that the next chapter is really going to get into all of this kind of coming to a head for him. I hate that term.
Everything gathering together in one spot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking for it. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't make you lose your
Okay.
edge. How your meditation was your superpower. Blah blah blah. Hoisted on my own. What's the word petard? Petard.
That one I would need in a sentence.
Okay, here, I'll read the sentence to you. After
Perfect.
all my nattering on about how Buddhism didn't make you lose your edge, how meditation was a superpower, and blah, 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 I would be hoisted on my own petard.
Be embarrassed by his own thinking.
So that's what we're going to get into in the next chapter. I like that because I think of you when I read Dan Harris because he uses lots of words like that because he's a journalist and smart like that and has to use words like that because that's what you should do.
That's his.
And I have to look them up. And I'm like, motherfucker, why can't you just use normal fucking words?
Why can't you just say, I have a bit of egg on my face in the next chapter?
Yeah. Can we do that? Yeah. So the next chapter, Hide the Zen. That is the last chapter. It's a pretty long one.
That one. It
Yeah.
does bring everything all together.
To read it. Not that I haven't been excited to read anything else, but yeah, I'm excited to read that. And then we need to start discussing what we're doing next.
Here's what I think. We need to circle back. So we need to do a little bit of a three book review, right? Because I tend to think of these three books together. So the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, the Atomic Habits, and in this one, and pick up some of the threads that we left dangling in the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. When it talks about your values and when it talks about atomic habits and lining your habits up with your values and what Dan Harris is going to bring us through the next chapter, like this meditation stuff does change fundamentally how you view the world. So are we better equipped now to talk about values? Are we better equipped to talk about lining our habits up with our values? And what does that really mean? Can we dig a little bit deeper into, we say all the time we want to be better people, but what's that mean? What's that? What is that? Is that having more compassion? Is that sticking to values in a different way? Is it valuing the lives of these kitty cats that live with me more than most of the people I meet during the day? What are the values that are driving and fundamental to who I am? Do those line up with what I do when I'm at my job? Maybe we get into a little bit of workbooking.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a great
too.
idea. And also, we will hopefully next week be releasing another Bare Bones.
Probably the week after. Maybe next week.
Okay.
Next week, sometime soon, in the next 2 weeks. We've got 2 in the can, as they say in the industry, which I will need to edit and get off to their respective authors. And now that I am not spending 86% of my time in a hotel or an airport lounge, the odds of me getting that done are pretty high this week.
Yeah. So good. So the next one we're going to release is an interview with Michelle Kapotz. She's a transformational coach.
And all-around good girl.
Yes. Just a great person. And we're going to release that. And then I'll start doing some talking because I've actually started working with her one-on-one.
Yeah.
Getting better. It's pretty cool. My experiences with her have been pretty cool. And there's many still to come that I'm excited about. So we'll get into that too.
And we're also going to read this email that the podcast people sent us about 5 mistakes that lose listeners. Because I think we made
all of them.
That we did all of them. That'll be just fun for us. It's in our email. I was a little bit distracted by it.
Where is it?
It is from November 12th.
Oh, 5 mistakes. I think we should just read it now.
I'm scared not doing it.
Oh, it's an actual podcast. You have to listen to it.
You have to listen to a podcast? My God. I think I know where we've gone wrong.
Dumb. Okay. All right. Sounds good. I think we're done for the day.
Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you. Love you.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.